Hello guys and welcome. So in this video I'm going to be talking about how important it is to be careful when you're overpaying and paying down debt. Thank you for watching the video so far. Remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe and ring the bell to help with the YouTube algorithm. Now back to the video. So if you've been following my series of videos so far on this channel, then you understand that my goal is to try and become debt-free. And I have identified how much my debt is costing me. I know the interest rates, I know the balances remaining, I know my income, I know my monthly spending worth, I know a lot of information. Now, one mistake I have made personally time and time again is I think, okay, I'm going to pay off the phone, I'm going to pay off this, I'm going to pay off that this month. But then I realize there's some unexpected bills. You never know when they will come along, once a year bills that you forgot about or whatever. And then suddenly I'm like, oh crap, I don't have enough to see me to the end of the month. I don't have enough to pay my rent. Or I'm going to start next month in such a weak financial position that I'm going to have to eat mayonnaise sandwiches for the next couple of weeks because I can't afford food. So be really, really careful when overpaying debt. Make sure that you have, even when you overpay and pay towards your debts, that you have enough spare in case of emergencies. And every time emergency or unexpected spending happens, then make sure that you add them to your calendar, to your list, to the spreadsheet, things like that we spoke about, even if they're only once a year payments. And I said, as in my how to avoid unexpected bills video, make sure that you deal with them, as you go along. So I cannot tell you enough basically how important it is to not be caught out by unexpected bills, because I've said that in the previous video, but also that can be exacerbated if you do overpay your debts too quickly and then leave yourself in a financial hole, because there's rent or mortgage to pay, you have to pay for food, you have to pay for internet, you have to pay for your phone. There's some unavoidable bills that you pay each month. Now, some advantages I have now got. So fine, this month for me is going to be kind of bad financially. But from now on, I don't have to pay my phone. There's two other little debts I cleared. I don't have to worry about the monthly payments anymore. So there can be sort of, balances about it. So sort of you question what's more important, to save that money every single month or to have some money to be secure. Because one thing that banks don't like is if you hit your overdraft too much when it comes to determining whether they want to give you credit, if they want to give you a personal loan or whatever. So I am working my absolute hardest to make sure that I avoid paying or going into my overdraft, even if your overdraft is free. Like, let's say you have a free arrangement, like the first 250, £500 is free. Just by using it, is a negative, will have a negative effect on your standing with the bank when it comes to getting credit. So in case you didn't know that, and that is based on my experience with my own bank, simple as that. So I am still pressing ahead with my goal. I'm still keeping in mind that this is what I want to do. I want to become debt free. So I've already said I'm doing everything I can to avoid unexpected bills. I'm not going to buy a PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox or new graphics or anything like that. I'm not going to increase my debt, which is also another video that I made. Please check it out on my channel. And also as well, from now on, I'm going to be very, very careful when it comes to actually overpaying debt. I want to be absolutely sure on a month-to-month basis that I've got enough money left over in case of unexpected bills, emergencies, whatever. Because, like I said, hitting your overdraft potentially is a bad thing in the long run. So it's something to pay attention to, guys, if you're in the same situation as me. In case you didn't know, that actually using your overdraft, even if it's free, will give you a negative standing. Because I don't know if you had that experience, but when you call the bank, for example, let's say you want a loan or whatever for home improvements and so on. Part of the process they might say to you is, oh, you hit your overdraft 6 times in the last 6 months. We are why, But when they are asking why, they're really saying that we don't really know if we want to give you any money. That's what they're really saying. So it's best to always not hit your overdraft and not use it. But it is nice that it's there, just in case it's needed. Now, there was some leeway for overdrafts. Like my bank personally, they were very, very nice and generous during the whole illness that went around. So between March and basically until August, there was no fees on any overdrafts, even if you overused it and so on. There was no fees at all. But now that it's been several months of the illness, all of the fees have now come back. So your bank should have been communicating with you that they probably gave you leeway for about 5-6 months, but all the fees have returned. And as well, if you have credit cards, like they might say, okay, all the fees and interest have been waived for the last few months, but they're going to come back with a vengeance in a few months. So, like, for example, I've got one with PayPal Credit. Like, they've already told me in January they are reinstituting the interest rate. So I need to make sure that I try and clear the balance before January to avoid that interest rate. Otherwise, it's going to hit me hard. So, as I say, guys, it's a difficult one, this topic, because it's kind of like, so I'm saying both clear debt, but at the same time be careful. So, but I would go on the side of caution, because you need to eat, you need to live, you need to survive, and the best way is to just do some calculations. You don't have to be a mathematician, you don't have to be good with numbers, so don't fret about that. As long as you have it plotted on the spreadsheet that we put in the previous video, about how to calculate monthly spending power, then you could just see it. You don't have to even calculate it yourself. You can get Excel or any sort of spreadsheet software, and there are free softwares as well that can do it for you. So you don't have to worry about that. In fact, in the future, I might feature how to get free spreadsheet software and free document software, so that you don't have to pay for Office, for example. So yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. It's funny that I come up with these ideas while I'm making these videos. So yeah. So anyway, guys, like I said, it's a mistake I've made time and time again. You know, it's kind of frustrating when I do that. It's sort of like, yes, I'm paid off this debt. Oh crap, do I have enough money for rent? Whoops, you know, I should have thought about that before. My bad. So, and it is a lesson that I've learned that I want to pass on, because you never know. Like, simple as that. Like, a lot of these videos might seem like common sense to some people. They might seem really obvious. But when I make this sort of content, as long as it helps a single person, then it was worth making. So please let me know in those comments down below. Has this video helped you? Have the other videos on the channel helped you as well? And this entire channel is dedicated towards personal finance. So this first chapter of the channel is myself becoming debt-free and how I do that and that journey. Once I am debt-free, then I will start discussing what I'm planning to do with the money to help the money grow. Like, will I do investments? How will I buy a house one day? And so on. And how will I continue to live and save money as I go along? So, yeah. So anyway, guys, 2 videos from the channel have been linked to this channel. The videos on this channel that I'm most proud of are how to make a plan and stick to it, and calculating monthly spending power. But check out also the videos that pop up on the screen. All the videos on this channel are dedicated towards the same topic. So if you have any feedback, any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can.